Hey, this is Joel from the Traveler Toolkit. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome in general. We do lots of videos about camping, RVing in the outdoors, and today I've got a doozy for you. If you are someone who just bought an RV or is considering buying an RV, wanting to get right here, then this video is for you. You don't want to end up here and not have something you need, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 4 things that you need to have covered before you head to the campsite, and that is power, water, sewer, and chalking or blocking. I'm going to give you a product or two in each one of those categories to make sure that you are covered so you don't want to miss a thing. As always, I'm going to put chapters down below so you can check those out, jump back around, look back for reference, and a huge shout out to eTrailer for sponsoring today's video. I'll tell you more about them later, but for now, let's get into it. All right, so I thought we'd start at the place that most people say scares them the most, and that is the RV power pedestal. So when you get to a campsite, most campsites are going to have 30 or 50 or even 20 amp power for you to plug into. Medium sized to even some larger RVs that have 1 AC are going to be 30 amp, and the larger class A's, fifth wheels, things like that that might have 2 ACs are going to be 50 amp. Maybe a small towable, a caravan or a pop-up tent might have a 20 amp like your home outlet, but whatever you have, you need to make sure your rig is protected with an electrical surge protector. So what does this do? This protects your rig from the power coming out of this pedestal, because let me tell you, it's not always consistent. I've been to campsites before where these plugs are busted, where breakers short out, where things just happen because these are outdoor power pedestals, and you want to make sure that your rig's protected with a surge protector. And I know people will say in the comments, I've been camping for years without a surge protector, I've never had an issue. And that could certainly happen. I did it for years without an issue because these are more expensive than I would like them to be, but they serve a really important purpose. And what they do is they buffer the power coming out of this pedestal before it goes to your RV. They even check the status of that power and make sure that it's safe, clean, and reliable before you plug in to prevent shorts. The specific model I'm going to recommend is this one. The Hughes Power WatchDog is probably the best surge protector that you can get for a couple different reasons. The first reason is it's a high quality surge protector with high quality components and cables. It's got an IP65 waterproof rating, which these things are outdoors. They're going to be getting wet, so you want to make sure it's waterproof. And just in this Gen 2, I like the way that your plug goes into it. It's got this little door here on the side that your 30 amp plug goes into. It goes underneath here, plugs in, and then when you plug in and lock it down, that cord is completely covered. It's completely safe. I love that, but that's not really why I like this so much. Most surge protectors are what we call sacrificial, meaning if you ever experience a surge, they're going to be thrown away. You can't use them twice. If they save you from a surge, great job, but you will be replacing your entire surge protector. The WatchDog has a replaceable protection unit inside. So if you do have a surge and it does save your rig from a power surge, you can simply replace that unit and not the entire thing, which will save you money and hassle, so I really like that. Beyond that, it also has a Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connected app that you can monitor not just your power output, your input, your usage, all of that stuff, but you can turn your power on and off from anywhere if it's connected to Wi-Fi inside your rig. So I can go inside my rig, pull open my phone, know we're plugged into 30 amp and see that we're using 28.8 amps and realize if we put one more thing on the breaker, we're going to pop. So it's a really nice feature. It's the only one I've ever owned with the Bluetooth connected app, and the app works really well. So that's why it's my recommendation. But real quick, here's how it works. When you get to a campsite, the first thing you want to do is take the Power WatchDog and plug it in. But before you do, you want to make sure all your breakers are in the off position. This is just going to protect you from any kind of surge or arc as you're plugging it in. You plug in, everything's off. Then you take your 30 amp, which is what I have. You turn your breaker on and you watch the WatchDog here. You can hear it kick on. And if the WatchDog stays white and you get no error codes, that means the power at your site is safe. You don't need to do anything. If the power is dangerous, if there's something wrong, he will light up red and you will know there's an issue. Do not plug in to this site. There's something wrong. So this is your protection before you plug your rig in or do anything. You can go to the Power WatchDog, make sure that what's coming out of the pole is safe for your rig. Then once you know it's safe, just turn your breaker off again. Take your power cord from your RV, plug it in, and then turn your breaker on again. And now you have power to your rig that is not only safe, but it's also monitorable through their app. And that's why the Power WatchDog and an RV surge protector is the #1 thing you should have on your list when you get an RV before your very first camping trip. And just a few other things about surge protectors, specifically the WatchDog. If you are worried about someone swiping your surge protector, which has never happened to me, but it could happen, they have this little piece right here that you can run a cable through and lock it. That's handy. And even though mine is a 30 amp, you can get this in a 50 amp option as well. So I'll leave a link to both the 30 and the 50 amp option in the description below. I just wanted to stop again and thank eTrailer for sponsoring this video. In fact, I have been a customer of eTrailer for about a decade now, long before they were sponsoring this YouTube channel, so this is pretty cool for me. You can buy all sorts of parts for your truck, trailer, camper, RV, even camping accessories. I bet you probably didn't know that. So all the products from today's video will be linked down below. They'll go to eTrailer. They have some of the best service and training videos you'll ever see, so you can buy from them without hesitation and with full confidence. So be sure to support our sponsor, eTrailer.com. All right, now going down the list in order of things people are scared to do on their RV after electricity is sewer, because nobody wants to have what we call a poopsie or an oopsie with poo on your RV. So I'm gonna suggest you get a few critical pieces of gear before you head out. And the first one is not a sewer hose, though we'll go over what kind of sewer hose to buy. The first one is this simple little 3-inch valve gate. I have a Valterra. I have purchased one of these before or the first day of owning every single one of my 7 RVs because of the experience I had in my first RV. Now, see, let me just show you what this does. And I've checked this, so I'm not gonna be wearing gloves. I would normally wear gloves to do anything around this area, but I've just wiped it down. When you are going down the road, the only thing between you and all of your waste is a little valve gate just like this one right here. And that's up in your pipe, a little closer to your tank. You have a little handle somewhere up under your RV that you pull that releases that. But as you go down the road, those juices are flopping around right behind that gate, and it is inevitable that some of that will leak out and be between your cap here at the end of the pipe and the gate all the way back by your tank. In fact, the very first time I took a trip in an RV, I had a faulty gate that would not close all the way. So when I went to open my cap, all the way back to the valve gate was filled with sewage. No way to stop it, right on my hands, feet, and on the ground. And so the solution is an extra valve gate at the end of your sewer pipe that you can open and close when you are ready, meaning you can take your cap off, connect your sewer hose, and then open this gate. You don't have to take your cap off not knowing what's behind it. This is absolutely critical for sanitation and peace of mind. So it's a cheap part that you can pick up. Get one for yourself. There will be a link in the description. Now let's talk about the other important piece of this sewer setup, and that is what sewer hose you buy. So when you buy your RV, if you buy it new, you'll probably get one of these. If you buy it used, the previous owner might leave it with you, but you'll probably get something like this. This is the cheapest grade sewer hose. This one's actually DIY. You can see the dealer left this end open. They clamped a little fitting here on the end. This is the sewer hose that most people start with, and it's not a great option for several different reasons. The first reason is it's extremely flimsy. You can crush it, you can break it. They develop tears in these inner-betweens right here. They're extremely fragile. You don't want to have an explosion come out of one of these. And trust me, these will eventually fail. In fact, all sewer hoses will eventually fail, so that's why you need to replace them regularly. But if you're looking for something that will last longer, I would recommend the Rhino Extreme from Camco. This is a model that I've had a version of for many years now, and here's the reason I like it. Unlike your basic sewer hose that doesn't have anything in between here, there's actually a wire that runs around this sewer hose and a high-grade plastic in between that's tear resistant, much stronger than your regular sewer hose or your standard sewer hose. It extends and goes back together really easy, and it holds its shape for storage. So you can put it into your storage tube much smaller than you would otherwise. Compare this to the other one, let me get that. The other one that just wants to come apart every chance it gets. And you'll see why I really prefer these Camco Extremes. I think they have really good fittings on the end. In fact, you can get universal fittings that will go down into your sewer pipe. That's important. But what's most important is that these fittings go on tight, which these always do. In fact, they're so tight, I have a tool that you need to use to take them off sometimes. And that these walls are strong. If this gets stepped on or smashed, it will pop back into place. You can see it's much more rigid than the other sewer pipe, and that's because it's got a metal ring going around each one of these orange circles here. So this is the one I would highly recommend. You can actually get it in a 2-pack. There's one hose here that is 10 foot and then another hose that is 10 foot, so that if you need to be 20 feet away from your sewer hookup, you can use this. But if you're just getting out at a dump station and you're really close, there's no need to hook up 2 hoses or a long hose. You can use this short 10-foot hose, hook up, unhook, less to clean, and get out of there quickly. And one other quick note about where you store your hose. I would highly recommend getting one of these tubes if your RV doesn't have them. Many people will store their hose in their bumper, which my trailer actually doesn't have a bumper. I'm thankful, because that square bumper is a terrible place to put your hose. It will get damaged, it will get stuck, it will frustrate you. You can buy these just self-tapping right here, and it has a little door that opens up and allows you to put everything inside. Touches nothing important, nothing sanitary. Please don't put these in your storage compartment with other things, even if they're in bins. This is the ideal place and way to store them. Then you can shut this and even add a little pin to lock it, which I do. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you doing? It's absolutely free, and we put out cool videos like this every single week, so make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. All right, now let's talk about freshwater. The 2 important components to having your freshwater system ready to go for a camping trip are a good freshwater hose and a pressure regulator. This is to protect you, make sure you have good quality water coming into your rig. This is to protect your rig from high water pressure. So let's talk about the hose of choice here first. This is the Valterra Aquafresh hose. Now, I've had so many different hoses over the years. I've had X hoses, I've had those white hoses that everybody has, but the problem is the X hose is a little bit too flimsy and it breaks down in the sun and often gets holes in it. The white hose is too stiff. This Aquafresh high flexible version from Valterra, I think, is a good middle ground. It's got a lot of flexibility to it. I mean, I can roll this thing up, I can straighten it out. I really like the flexibility. It's got braided interior, so it's got like a metal braiding inside there that gives it reinforcement, and it's got brass fittings on the end with these protective springs here that keep it from, kinking or sagging at the end if you were in a really awkward position. The one thing I wish was a little different is this plastic piece here. It is more comfortable to hand tighten this on there because it is plastic, but plastic brings upon an opportunity for failure, but so far so good. I've never had one of these break, but this is my water hose of choice and the one I'm using right now. Also from Valterra. They make a lot of really good stuff. I like this pressure regulator, and I just got a new one because mine was about 5 years old. I've had probably 3 of them over the years, over the last decade, and these are absolutely a lifesaver. So what you do is you screw this into your water spigot, and then you screw your hose into this, and what it does is it regulates the water pressure coming from the spigot or the city water tap to your RV. You don't want to have water pressure over, I've heard, about 50 psi. This comes factory out of the box set to 45 psi, and this gauge right here will confirm it. That's the reason I like this so much, is it gives you a gauge to confirm how much pressure you've got. And if you want to dial that up a little bit, you can use this flathead screwdriver setting here. You can dial it up or down to your liking, but this is a good way to ensure you know how much pressure is coming into your rig, that it's safe for your pipes, because I've seen pressure coming out from a campsite at 60, 70, 80 psi that will burst the pipes inside your RV and cause big problems. This, like a surge protector, will save you a lot of money in the long run, and for my money, this is the best one you can buy. So the Valterra pressure regulator, and then the Valterra Aquafresh high quality water hose. You do not want to go out there without a good hose and a good pressure regulator. All right, and for our final category of essentials, we're going to talk about chalking and blocking. It's not the sexiest part of setting up an RV, but it is an essential part when it comes to safety and security of your rig. So the first thing I want to talk about are these simple leveling blocks. You've probably seen these around RV parks because they're some of the handiest pieces of equipment you can have with you. And I like this specific set because it doesn't have a travel bag. It's got this nice little screw that goes down the middle and becomes a handle. So you put it down in there, you screw it in, and then you can pick up all of this and kind of put it in your rig like that. I love this. Again, these are from Camco. And the idea is you can do several different things with these, but I always make sure I carry at least one, maybe two sets of these. You can stack them up, to get a tongue jack down, or you can take them and you can build a pyramid with them if you're trying to level things out underneath a tire. There's just so many uses for these around an RV that it's essential to carry at least one set of them. Some people use these for their stabilizers, but I would much rather use a specific block for stabilizers, like this Stromberg stabilizer block right behind me. This has been a game changer because when you have your stabilizer in this position, it is much more sturdy and strong than it would be if it was all the way extended. I mean, these arms often bend over, they tilt, they break, and you don't want to do that. Keeping them in a strong position to support your rig as you're inside moving around is important. So these blocks, they're rock solid, they hold up to 3,500 pounds, and of course, you don't want to jack your trailer up on these. You simply want to set the weight of the trailer down on this block and allow it to just keep you from shifting and keep you level. So I'm a big fan of these Stromberg blocks. They have a big wide base, a nice solid core with a kind of a structure frame inside, 2 holes on each side so you can grab them and move them around. But I'm really impressed with how they've performed, and they stack up inside the RV. They don't take up too much room, and they're just really important and essential to have. You also want to make sure you have a good sturdy chalk behind both of your wheels, or if you have 4 wheels, 1 on each side. I think this is a really great option. It's solid core, kind of a foam, hardcore density foam. It's got this handle on the back, grips on the front, holes on the side, and it's just really easy to pick up and throw into your tires, and it's almost as wide as my tire. So that's why I like it. I think it's a great option. You don't want to mess with flimsy little plastic chocks. Get yourself a good set of chocks, throw them behind your wheels, keep yourself safe, because nobody wants to get inside an RV and feel it start to run away. So there you have it, my essentials for every new RVer to have in their kit. Make sure you don't leave home without these, quite literally. You're going to need them to enjoy your camping experience. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please leave me a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it's free. New videos like this every week about camping, RVing, and the outdoors. My name is Joel. This is the Traveler Toolkit, and I'll see you in the next video.